You are Locked On Braves Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta, your team every day.
The Braves had it all working at Truist Park on a Saturday night as they picked up a 3-2 win over the Milwaukee Brewers. I may just call this the probably most complete win that the Braves have had this season, at least in terms of getting the great pitching, getting the timely hitting, getting the defense when they needed it. A few breaks went their way, a whole lot of things that were cooking for Atlanta on this particular night. Welcome once again to the Braves Postcast. I'm Grant McAuley. He's Jake Mastroianni. This, of course, is part of the all-new Locked On Sports Atlanta. Want to make sure you're subscribed here on the YouTube channel. Make sure you click the bell, get those notifications whenever we drop a new episode. And, of course, be sure you subscribe to the Locked On Braves podcast wherever you get your podcasts. You'll get each and every Braves postcast we do, plus all the great stuff Jake has for you all season long. But, Jake, as far as the great stuff was concerned on this night, it was the Atlanta Braves who were providing it. It all got started with Max Fried, but there were more than a few guys who stepped in and stepped up and helped the Braves even this series up.
Yeah, maybe my favorite game of the year so far. And I'm definitely somebody who loves, great pitching, great defense. And that's exactly what you got in this one. Just a really great played game all around. The Braves, like you said, caught a couple more breaks than the Brewers on this night and came away with a win.
Yeah, and you're going to win some games that you have no business winning. You're going to lose some games that you have no business losing. I think we've seen a little bit, at least, of column B thus far this year, but it was nice to see the Braves. They got the well-pitched game from Max Fried, don't get me wrong. They got the home run from Ronald Acuña Jr., but some defensive lapses by the Milwaukee Brewers kind of opened the door for the Braves to take the lead in this game. And as it turned out, each and every run in this contest was invaluable, and the Braves got one more than the Brewers did to pick up the win.
Yeah, exactly. And, just kind of uncharacteristic, I think, of this Brewers team and just back-to-back nights, making several errors here. And you've seen it on the Braves side as well. I don't know if there's anything with the field conditions or whatever. I know everybody always says that the field there moves a little bit faster, but it's just uncharacteristic of Lorenzo Cain, who's a really great defensive center fielder. But, these are the breaks. And they talked about it on the TV broadcast as well. Is in a game like this, you're not going to get a lot of runs. You got to take advantage when the other team makes a mistake. And the Braves did that tonight, and that's why they came out on top.
Yeah, opportunistic. Certainly the Braves were in this one. Let's get into the line score, let you know how this game played out. Then we'll get into all the good stuff that was going on, all the key performers, big plays, and, of course, we'll get you set for Game 3 on Sunday. This was, though, game number 29 of the year for the Braves, game 2 out of 3 in this series. Brewers dropped to 19-9 on the year, 2 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors, 4 men left on base for them. For the Braves, now 13-16, 3 runs, 8 hits, no errors, 8 men left aboard. Max Fried, the winner, man, he was dialed in tonight. Another great performance by him. He is now 4-2. Corbin Burnes pitched well, deserved a better fate. I'll be honest with you. It was nice to sit there and watch 2 pitchers go back and forth in a pitcher's duel, just matching zeros. But, of course, it was also very nice to see the Braves be the ones who broke the ice as far as the scoring was concerned, and then were able to add a couple of runs on a night that Corbin Burnes is pitching. If you pick up a win, you have certainly accomplished something. The Braves did that. Again, Burnes now 1-2 on the year. Kenley Jansen, his 8th save. Time of game, 2 hours, 57 minutes. Crowd of 37,857 were on hand to see it. And, Jake, they were on hand to see Max Fried dealing once again. 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. It came on a solo homer, just 1 walk, which was also uncharacteristic of Max. He hadn't walked a batter in 29 innings till he issued one of those. 8 strikeouts tonight. What a performance by him, matching up with a guy who has taken home some pretty big hardware himself in Corbin Burnes.
Yeah, it was. And you can just kind of see the energy from Max in the game tonight and really his last several starts. He is in a groove, in a special kind of groove right now. And it's fun to see. 15 swings and misses tonight, 15 called strikes. He threw 8 changeups and got a swing and miss on 5 of them, which just tells you, he has all the pitches going. Hitters don't know what to sit on. There's nothing they can sit on right now. There's a great sequence in the 4th inning, back-to-back hitters where he threw an off-speed, and then bam, with 95 miles per hour, just painted on the black. Beautiful sequence there. He's got it all going, and it's fun to watch right now.
Yeah, and it's nice to have it all going. You're not going to have it each and every start, but as far as what Max Fried is doing so well, in addition to having such a great arsenal, he is nothing if not unpredictable for hitters. You're not really able to focus in on anything. You know he's going to challenge you with a fastball. You know he's going to throw a bunch of curveballs, but what he does in mixing in the other pitches of his arsenal or just kind of pitching in ways that hitters are just not prepared for or just not looking for at that moment, that's one of the things that has made Max Fried so good. He was dialed in yet again tonight. Again, 7 innings of one-run ball. That laid the foundation for this victory. But you got to score some runs to win a game, and Ronald Acuña Jr. was a big reason why the Braves jumped on the board with another home run, his second in as many days. Another big night for him. 2 for 3, a walk, the home run, a stolen base, doing a little bit of everything that Ronald Acuña does so well, wasn't he, Jake?
He was, and it's nice to see. And a couple of balls hit 107 miles per hour tonight. I tweeted this out. The average exit velocity on the last 9 balls he's put in play is 99.2 miles per hour. 6 hard hit balls, 5 of them 104 miles per hour or harder. So I think maybe it's safe to say now that Ronald is, starting to come back a little bit to what we're seeing. The stolen base was nice to see as well. Just got in there. Really great stolen base from him. So yeah, this is certainly exciting and hopefully more to come from him. And this is the version of Ronald Acuña Jr. that I think we all are looking forward to seeing. And I think he's really close, if not there.
Yeah, that average exit velocity creeping up towards 100 miles an hour. That's a great stat. I can tell you this. I'll be retweeting that in a little while, and you can follow Jake right now at Shortstop Ball on Twitter for more great stats like that. He also had some help in this game as the Braves were able to add on some insurance runs. Marcell Ozuna has not had a whole lot of good fortune at the plate lately. He has been mired in a slump for the better part of 2.5 weeks, but he had a single and it was misplayed, an E8 that helped the Braves set up a second run. And as it turned out in this game, the Brewers were able to finally, solve Max Fried with a home run by Renfroe. They were able to get back a second run against Kenley Jansen in the 9th inning, but the Braves had added not one but 2 insurance runs, including one in the 8th inning, courtesy of Travis d'Arnaud. That was a big help as well. And then you saw the defense for the Braves in this game. I want to kind of throw all of this in together. Good fortune, good defense, and timely hits. That was what helped Max Fried win this ball game. And Travis d'Arnaud was right in the middle of some of it. A strike him out, throw him out double play to end the game. But I don't know if there was a bigger play in this one than 2 on, both in scoring position, 2 out, 6th inning, and Travis Demerit's diving catch. That one, I think, saved the game for the Braves and for Max Fried.
Yeah, off the bat, I thought that's in, and here it goes. We're going to have another, bloop hit that's going to come back and haunt us. And I thought and I saw where the ball was going and where Travis was. I said, there's no way he gets to this ball. It's in, that's 2 runs. And he came out of nowhere to catch that baseball. And great to see. And, we've seen Travis be able to cover ground. We saw him in right field go and catch that ball in foul ground in one of his first games with the Braves this year. But I thought he had no shot at that one. Just an amazing play. Like you said, I think the biggest play of the game out of everything. And there was a lot of big plays. I mean, Travis threw out 2 base runners in this game, something we haven't seen a lot from the Braves catcher. And so that was certainly, one of the big plays in this game, if not the biggest.
Yeah, I mean, Travis Demerit now has not one, but I think 2 of the best catches by a Braves outfielder all season long. Maybe Guillermo Heredia's catch against the Mets a little while ago in that last series, and that finale of that one, that would probably be on the short list. But the Braves outfield defense, Jake, has really not been the thing that has helped propel them to victory throughout this season. But on this night, it was a little bit of everything working for the Braves, including some good fortune. And I would say Marcell Ozuna, who badly needed that single, was more than happy to have a 2-base error on the usually shorthanded Lorenzo Cain that put him at third base and set up the Braves' second run of the night. We'll talk a little bit more about this win. Of course, we'll get you set for Game 3 in just a moment. But first, let me let you know this Mother's Day, give Mom something that she'll treasure forever with fine jewelry from BlueNile.com. Locked On Sports listeners get $50 off a $500 purchase. This podcast exclusive is good only through Mother's Day, so only through Sunday. Use code Locked On. That is code Locked On. Every order is insured, ships free, and arrives in discreet packaging. It won't give away what's inside. You can shop stress-free and find your forever peace. Go to BlueNile.com today. So as we look at what the Braves have been able to do so well, when things are going well for them, I would say that this is the kind of night that you'd like to see more of, Jake, because dating back to 2018, when the Braves won the NL East in somewhat surprising fashion, then in 2019, 2020, even last year, you always saw what I would say were just some well-played games, well-pitched games. The defense was there when they needed it to be. The timely hits were there when you needed them to be. But Ronald Acuña Jr. being back at the top of the order, I know he's not going to be able to save every single game for this team or turn them around in the standings immediately upon walking through that door. But as you alluded to earlier, with what we're seeing now at the plate from him consistently, I feel like this is the kind of energy for this Braves club that it's going to start to pay off on a more regular basis. At least that's the feel of it, just being around him since Acuña's been back, what, a week and a half.
Yeah, it is. And you can see it. Look, he is a difference maker at the top of the order. Like you said, you can't count on him to win every game. We know, and Mike Trout knows, one player can't do it all on a baseball team. But what he brings, throughout that whole clubhouse and the energy he brings, the confidence that he brings, I talked about it with Dansby. I don't think it's a coincidence that he got hot, around the time that Acuña started to come back. What he does in that 9-hole with Acuña on deck, it certainly, helps him. But yeah, for me in this game, this was the game we look for with the Braves, and when they're going well, obviously. But the add-on runs, and you touched on it, Ozuna, taking those 2 extra bases, and then Ozzie putting the ball in play, hard hit ball, that was huge there. 2 outs, Travis d'Arnaud at the plate in the 8th inning gets that 2-out hit to bring in Riley, which ended up being the game-winning run. It's stuff like that you need to see this team doing on a more consistent basis. Yes, Ronald, the home run is great. Him getting on base, stealing is great, but other guys stepping up in those big opportunities. And Dansby, I know he didn't have the greatest night at the plate, but he made a great diving catch also in that 6th inning. He also made another play in the hole later in the game to rob to take away a hit. So it was just everything. That's why I think this is my favorite game of the year. You had 2 great pitchers, you had several great defensive plays, and you had some clutch hits by the Braves.
Yeah, and Dansby with that great tag on the strike him out, throw him out double play. The Brewers challenged, but I think at that point they already knew what their fate was at that point. That didn't take very long, kind of anticlimactic, if you will. But Dansby, even on a night where he struck out 3 times, and that's kind of been, the struggle for him this year, he was still out in the field making plays, and that's something you're going to need to see. Ozzie Albies couple of hits in this game. As I mentioned, Travis d'Arnaud was in the middle of stuff. He had an RBI single. He also had a double in this game. He was 2 for 4. And, of course, the strike him out, throw him out double play, part of his heroics on this night. So all around, a very good game for the Braves, and they're going to look to carry this momentum over as they get ready for Game 3, and we'll tell you about that as soon as I tell you about betonline.net. It's your number one source for all your betting stats and sports info. You can find the latest sports developments, league reviews, NBA playoffs, MLB, and much more. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering information, from live betting to playoffs, esports, and more. Head to betonline.net today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and the action. BetOnline, where the game starts. The game in Atlanta starts tomorrow at 1:35 p.m. Eastern Time. It's the rubber match between the Braves and the Brewers. Charlie Morton on the mound. He's 1-3, 6.85 ERA. It's Aaron Ashby who'll be on the hill for the Brewers. He's a left-hander who's 0-2 with a 2.33 ERA for him. But I think, Jake, and we touched on this after Charlie's last start, what he showed over the final 3 or so innings against New York, I'm hoping that that's signaling a turnaround for Charlie Morton, because he needs it, and goodness knows the Braves need to get more of the Charlie Morton that they're accustomed to seeing here in the rotation in 2022 every 5th day.
Yeah, and it's going to be those first couple of innings. That's really been what's plagued him in his last several starts. Does he have that command out of the gate and controlling those pitches? So really big start for Charlie Morton. I was encouraged by those last 3 innings. Want to see if he continues it. They showed the age differential in this matchup. I think it's 23 years old versus 38 years old. So that's something to see. But I want to see from the Braves side against Ashby, a young pitcher, struggles with command every now and then. Can they be a little bit more patient? Are they engaged on every at-bat? Because that's something in the game tonight against Corbin Burnes. They were engaged in every at-bat. I know they didn't get a ton of runs off of them, but every at-bat was competitive, and they had a runner on base in every inning except for the inning Acuña hit a home run, because doesn't technically count if you go all the way home. But I thought they were really good at bats tonight. I want to see them come back out and do that, even against a young kid in Aaron Ashby. Come out there, engaged at bats, high quality at bats. Again, Burnes is great. He's the NL Cy Young Award winner, but I thought the at-bats tonight were just really good against him. Got him out of there, got that pitch count elevated, and got him out of there after 6 innings.
Yeah, and they had to be that kind of quality, because you knew Corbin Burnes, he had an opponent's batting average of, as far as right-hand hitters are concerned, of just over 100. He had punched out 25 of the 62 right-handed batters he had faced this year. And the Braves, they didn't have hits in bunches against him, but they got a big one from Ronald Acuña Jr. You saw what Travis d'Arnaud was able to do. And, of course, as you mentioned, Burnes wasn't hanging around into the 7th, 8th, or even the 9th inning, trying to throw a gem at the Braves. They were able to get him out of this game and get the runs they needed to grab a win. Charlie Morton will take all the runs the Braves can muster as this very right-hand heavy Braves lineup to kind of bring that point home. We'll be facing a lefty starter in Sunday's finale. Again, 1:35 is the first pitch. Charlie Morton and Aaron Ashby is your matchup as the Braves and Brewers clash in Game 3, and Atlanta looks to win a series to start out their homestand. Well, that'll do it for us here tonight on the Braves Postcast. It's part of the all-new Locked On Sports Atlanta. Make sure you subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. And, of course, make sure you subscribe to Locked On Braves wherever you get your podcasts as well. It was a great night at the ballpark as the Braves picked up a victory. I'm Grant McAuley. He's Jake Mastroianni. We've enjoyed talking about it with you, and we look forward to catching you next time on the Braves Postcast. Once again, your final score, it was the Braves 3 and the Brewers 2, and we will catch you soon right here on Locked On Sports Atlanta. So long, everyone.